Alrighty. So this is another trade recap for today. Um, Today is February 19th. I took one trade today, and this was on natural gas. And I will be going through my reasoning for this trade. It was a winning trade. Um, I did size down a bit today because I did make that mistake in yesterday's video where I took two trades and I made that mistake. And whenever I make a mistake, I want to kind of clear my head and go through the next trade kind of with a clear mind and with a less risk to actually make me. Sometimes when you go with more money and more of a position, then you don't think as clearly because you're mostly trying to think about trying to make money. But the number one thing you don't want to do when day trading is being in it to try to make money. You're in it to try to follow your good habits. You're in it to try to follow your setup and your trading strategy. You don't want to be in it for any other reason. If you're there for money, you start to revenge trade like I did yesterday. You try to make all your losses back. You try to emotional trade. And that's one thing you don't want to do. So sizing down is a good way to kind of reset your mind and kind of be able to see the market more clearly. So that's what I did today. I only took one trade. I kind of took a step back. I did want to take more longs later in the day, but I was at the gym at the time, so I was like, I definitely do not want to take some trades while I'm not at my setup. And that's one thing you gotta realize: the market is always gonna want to make you want to take trades, but you can't emotional trade. Do not trade when you're not at 100% capacity. If you make even small mistakes, if your mindset is slightly off, then you can make big mistakes where you extend your stop loss, where you actually lose a lot more money than you want to gain. So always trade with a clear mind. Have a good morning routine. Clear your mind. Have your coffee. Have everything that you need. Be ready to just be patient in the market and wait for your setup to come, and then you execute. And that's all you got to do. Don't try to be in it for the money. Don't try to be in it for anything else. Okay, let's get into the trade setup. So I saw that we were super bullish, but one thing that I noticed is we have that this gap on the daily over here that wanted to be filled, and that we are currently in trying to fill, right? And um, it's over here at 4.3450, right? This is one thing that I was trying to pull off because I can tell that it's drawing the market to try to fill this gap, and it's kind of like acting as a magnet for price to come up, right? So I was using this as a confluence for my trading strategy. So my bias was bullish to begin with. Also, we had a very strong bullish candle yesterday, as we could see, very strong bullish candle, which we followed through today. And I think this is just because it wants to fill the gap, and also it's breaking out at the moment. So I was bullish for the day. Um, my reason for entering was us invalidating these fair value gaps. So usually when we're in this kind of ascending triangle, like a bull flag formation, we like to kind of break out of areas and then come back and then take out liquidity off the other side. So in the beginning, I was actually waiting for it to take liquidity from the downside and then for us to break up. So I was waiting for this all morning, right? We didn't want to break out to the downside at all, and we were invalidating fair value gaps. And as soon as I saw us invalidating fair value gaps, like over here, we created this 15-minute fair value gap, but we respected it. Then we came down, right? So I still had this 15-minute fair value gap in play, because it was rejecting off of this 15-minute fair value gap, but it wasn't enough to kind of try to take out liquidity off of these areas, because we bounced off of this area and then we invalidated this 15-minute fair value gap. So I was like, okay, we're finally invalidating fair value gaps to the upside, and it doesn't look like price wants to take out liquidity. And to make it even more frankly bullish is that we're in a bull flag pattern, which usually breaks out and usually comes out on the upside, right, in the bullish momentum. So those are like three different confluences that I used already. Um, so we invalidated this 15-minute fair value gap, and then we also invalidated this 15-minute fair value gap, which we came back to retest. And as soon as we came back to retest, this is where I entered my position, where we retested this 15-minute fair value gap, and then we were showing strength over here. So I started entering my position over here, and I wanted to target just this liquidity over here. I could have put it on this liquidity over here, which I realize now would have been better, because that is like a 90% guarantee that it's going to hit, because this is all low resistance liquidity, all of this, right? So market is going to draw towards the top side of this. But I did put my TP over here, and it was a quick, like 40-minute trade, and it got hit, right? Tight stop, not much reward. I kind of wanted to trade with a clear mind and with not as much risk today, but that was the basis for my trade today, and it was very simple. I was very patient. I was waiting for my trade setup to come up. I knew that this bull flag pattern, I was waiting for it to come, take out liquidity, and then break out to the upside, which never happened. But then I waited for the 15-minute fair value gaps to get invalidated, which happened 2 times, right? Over here, we invalidated, and then we invalidated this one. We came back down, used that as support, and then we blasted through the top, right? So that is the basis of my, the thesis of my trade for this morning. It was just one trade, but yeah, I'm trying to get back that momentum of my 2 losses yesterday. So I'm trying to clear my mind, take on a bit lower risk for the moment, and try to read the market. And that's all. You got to be patient and wait for your setups to come up. Thank you for watching this video. That's everything for this video.